Hi, everybody. It's Marcy Melzer, intuitive speech and language pathologist, here today for my next tip of the week video. Today, I'm going to be talking about language facilitation using animals. I'm going to be talking about using your pets, and then I'm going to be talking about using animals in the community. And then I'm going to be talking about how to use toy animals, the animals that you have, in your toy box. Let's get started. Let me tell you first, my name, like I said, is Marcy Melzer, and I am an intuitive speech and language pathologist. And it's my mission to help as many parents as possible all over the world learn to teach your children how to use the words they need to share their wisdom with the world. Parents are the best language facilitators because you are the ones who teach your children everything. So today we're going to talk about how to use animals to teach your kids how to use words. All right, so those of you who have animals in your household, pet animals, it's really awesome to use them to facilitate language. And in fact, both of my children, who are now 20 and 23 years old, both of them said kitty as their first word. It wasn't mom, it wasn't I love you, it was kitty, both of them. And that's because the animals in our family, and I think like every family, are really part of your family and a big part of what you do. You care for them every day. So it makes perfect sense for families who have pets of any kind to use those pets as opportunities for you to facilitate language with your child. Because all of these tip of the week videos that I'm doing for you are all about simply providing opportunities for you as a parent to facilitate language with your child. It's not at all really about the specific toy or whatever it is that you've chosen to play with. It's all about the opportunity for you to talk about life with your children and facilitate language in a natural way. So my personal cats were not very excited to come on the video with me, so I'm going to talk a little bit about using your own pets, using my little buddy bear here. So if you do have animals, certainly it's appropriate for your child to learn to be gentle with them. The main thing when you're using your own animals is to respect them as other beings, family members, and they have their own feelings and they have their own, care. So we look after these animals, and there's language that goes with that. Just like you talk about, when you call the dog to come or call the cat to come, the language that you use for those things, that's the kind of language that you want to expose your child to over and over again. So if you call your dog with a certain noise, like a or something like that, and you say, buddy, come here, that might be an interesting phrase or, thing that your child will pick up on from you. The phrases that you use during your everyday things to call your animals are going to be consistent because animals respond to the same consistent sort of, directions, just like children. And so you can talk about them with the same kind words that you talk about each other. Oh, he's so cute. He looks nice. He feels soft. All the things that you love about your animals. Make sure that your kids are learning the words for those things. Because the thing about animals and nonverbal kids is just like people know what their dog wants just kind of when they look at them. Now, dogs don't have language and whatever, but there is some sort of intuitive communication we have with our animals. How do we know they have personalities? And I think that there is a level of communication with our animals that we have that nonverbal kids almost always have. And a lot of even the parents in my program have told me that their kids have a really nice connection with their dog or their animal. Even if it's like, I mean, I've met people who have like bearded dragons. They have really cool energy to share. I mean, you know, snakes. Some people have little gerbil animals. Some people have dogs, cats. Some people, horses, you know, large animals. All of that, you know, people really connect with animals. And nonverbal kids use a lot of their energy and intuition and behavior and personality to communicate, just like animals do. And so nonverbal kids and animals often bond. And so when you see that bonding between your kids and their animals, put words with that. That's cute. I love you. You know, really model the kind of language that you are observing your child communicate by their actions with the animals they love, okay? I also want to tell you one more thing about your own animals. And another way that is an excellent way to facilitate language is by involving your kids in the care and training of your animals. Because first of all, it will help you in the long run, because then you'll be able to have your child understand how to feed the dog, and you can eventually say, can you feed the dog? Won't that be wonderful? So you can teach them how to do things. But first you have to involve them in their care. You have to let them understand that, you know, the dog needs brushing. And you can practice those things on teddy bears, like brush the teddy bear first to show him how to do the brushing, and then try to brush on your dog, so that if he, you know, yanks or, you know, whatever, then it's the teddy bear who's affected first. And then you can teach your child with the teddy bear how to be gentle. And that's another way, like if you're not sure, or if you have an animal and your child isn't gentle with your animal, you can work with stuffed animals, you know, to work on being gentle with animals and learn that they're treated softly, and show your child how to touch them and feel that kind of touching. And touch your child the same way. Touch their arm in a soft, gentle way, and let them know how nice that is. And that's how your dog likes to be touched, or your cat, you know, if you're stroking their fur. So from a very, very root level, the animals in your household. And the thing is, if you know you're watching this video, you're probably already doing many of these things, you know, involving your child in your animal, because they can't help it. Like I said, they connect real strongly with them. So with your own animals at home, even if you're not interacting with them, you can observe them. And this is a great way to work on what's called joint attention. So your pets are a wonderful subject for you to talk about with your kids. Now, if your cat or dog is across the room laying down in the sun, or if they're playing with a string, or if they've brought in a lizard from outside, or, you know, anything like that, that's interesting, that's silly, that's funny, or even anything that they're doing. Let's say your cat gets up across and walks across the room to their water bowl and starts drinking water. Talk about that, because it's an everyday activity that happens all the time that your child will definitely want to have words for in the future. Just label and talk about the activities that they do. Penny, eat lizard, yuck, you know, and, you know, things like that. Whenever your animals do something interesting, it's cool if you talk to your child about the things that your animals do, and that helps you with joint attention. That joint attention is also helped with you allowing your child to assist you in caring for and training your animals. So show them how to call them, show them how to use the dog clicker, you know, show them how to give them a treat. Most definitely show them how to give them a treat gently, you know, things like that. So the more you can teach your child about your animals and what they're doing, and talk about it during all the time, that's going to be the #1 best way to use your own animals for language facilitation. All right, so now we're going to talk about using animals in the community. So the first one is a pet store. It's really cool for you to go and watch how your child interacts with looking at those live animals when there's a cage or barrier between them. But it's close. Usually in those kinds of environments, you can be right up against the glass with the puppies, but those little close encounters, and pet stores in general, are amazing places to talk about animals, because not only in the pet store are there live animals, but there's also all the things that you need to care for those animals. There's the food. Dogs need food. And here's the toys. Dogs need toys. And look at, here's the toys for cats. How different are these toys? I mean, there's so many things that you can talk about without even having an animal. I remember this. My kids would pretend they were cats and play with the cat toys when they were little. That was kind of an outing we did. So an outing at the pet store, especially these big giant ones that they have now, the chain ones, there's lots of opportunities to explore and learn all about animals. So if you live somewhere that's really hot or really cold, or it's rainy and you want an outing of someplace fun to go, the pet store is a fun place to go to, you know, sort of have an outing and talk about animals. Because once again, language facilitation is about the opportunity for you to explore talking about the things in your world with your kids. Petting zoos are an amazing opportunity for you to explore farm animals, because often they are goats or chickens, or goats and chickens, or horses, you know, farm type animals. Opportunity for you to feed a goat or touch a goat or smell a goat, because, you know, there's nothing quite like these petting zoo opportunities give you a chance to experience animals, okay? And the other thing too is, if you live in the city, you can go to a zoo, and zoos are an amazing chance to see animals. And at the aquarium where I volunteer, there are many hands-on experiences for kids. You can touch stingrays and urchins and sharks, and, you know, learn a lot about the animals from these places, the zoos and stuff. And many of them have fabulous educational opportunities for families, homeschool families. You know, if you're looking for opportunities to try out group learning things and your kids love animals, so consider the aquariums or zoos in your community to get exposure to animals in the community, because that's an amazing way to facilitate language with the real thing. Because and then you can go home and watch videos about it. So you know, that's what's cool about, you know, having those real experiences with animals in the community. So pet shops and local community festivals and zoos and aquariums are amazing places in the community that you can get hands-on experiences with kids, even late talking kids, even kids who have issues with behavior. You can start to, you know, get exposure at the pet store before you go and explore the whole aquarium, you know, things like that. So these are ways for you to start to talk about animals, real live animals in your world, because I think that the best language facilitation happens with the real thing. Even if you watch videos about animals, if your child loves animals on videos, watch real live videos, pull out the National Geographic and watch those videos and talk about what those animals are doing, just like you talk about your dog when he's, you know, eating a lizard across the room, or throws up, or, you know, does something gross or something funny or something cute, you know, all of that. These are the things that are going to help you facilitate language with your kids using animals. All right. Okay, now, if you do want to sort of dig in and do a little work, if your child will do some pretend play, or you have a lot of animals in your, toy animals in your household, I'll show you how I like to use a few of the ones that I have in my playroom. So a lot of kids start with, like I said, the big animals like this, the teddy bears and things like that. And like I said, for these toy animals, I like to use them as representation of the real thing. So you can use teddy bears to be like baby dolls and feed them and do that stuff. And that's a whole different kind of pretend play. But if you have an animal like this, you know, and you're talking about animals as animals and real animal characteristics, then this bear goes grrr, and he lives in the white snow because he's all white, and obviously he wouldn't wear a sweater if he was, you know, I mean, he's a dress-up bear when he wears a sweater, but if he's a real animal, then we'll take the sweater off and make him go on all fours and show him how bears walk, and show him how bears eat with, you know, fish, you know, things like that, all the things. But you can also do tea party with this bear, and he can drink tea and eat crumpets. So that's the thing about bears like that. When you are pretending that they're animals, make the noises, do the things that are like the animal, but then you can also, when you dress them up, have tea parties, okay? All right, so then you can move into some of the more manipulative play animals. And so a lot of kids go sort of downsize. Usually kids start just like vehicles. You start with the bigger animals like teddy bears and things like that, and then you move sort of down a size to the ones that are, you know, sizes that you can hold in your whole hand. So I've got my reptiles out, and I've got a sea turtle and an alligator. And these guys then can do many more of the sort of natural things. Like these guys might be, you know, and they do that kind of thing. But so make these animals do things, and make them, you know, do the actions that they normally would do as animals. Pretend that they, you know, pretend that they walk, if they swim, if they're, you know, sea turtles, that kind of stuff. Now, when you have animals like at this level, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull my little farm out, because a lot of times people will buy the farm with all the little animals and that kind of stuff, and it's a super great first pretend play toy. I have a mini version here because I used to take it with me when I went on, you know, out in the community. And just like I had my little mini garage, I had a little mini farm too. And so the thing is, when you have something like this, at first you might never play with the farm. Now this one, like the big size one, actually a lot of them make noise. Like they have a button you push and you hear the pig oinking and that kind of stuff. I recommend you just sort of take the batteries out and pull out a few of them. So, and instead of my farm animals, I have dinosaur, turtle, and alligator. And you're going to use these to do very similar kinds of repetitive actions that we did with the vehicles. So think about what this guy can do. Walk, 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 walk. And they might jump, you know, they might eat, num, 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 num. They might go night-night, you know, and that might be not how they do, but each animal you're going to do the same kind of behavior. So first it's alligator's turn. Walk, 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 walk. Eat. Num, 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 you know, or you can have a, you know, whatever, something for him to eat, or, you know, eat fish. Num, 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 num. And then night-night. And then it's turtle's turn. Walk, 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 walk. Stop, or don't fall off. I mean, you can do all that too. Anytime, just like, you know, we did walk, stop, turn around. I mean, you can literally do that with these. You know, walk, 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 stop, don't fall down, jump, jump, jump. Or, you know, you can even put up a barrier. Like I've got my paper, my notes here. You can go walk, 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 jump over. Walk, 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 jump down. And then dinosaur's turn. Walk, 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 walk. So you're working on, you know, at that point, it's functional verbs. Like, what are these animals doing? So you can make them do things just like the, and then what's great about animals is they all have very distinctive features. So you can use them to do verbs, but you can also use them to examine. So what I like to tell parents to do is, you know, you have your set animals. Now, I also, this is a good way to use if you have a large container of animals. So the next level down, when we're talking about observing animals, I wanted to bring these guys out to show you too. So this is a box of little animals. So you can, I'm going to show you there. There's pretty much, there's birds, there's cats, there's dinosaurs, there's a treasure box, there's, you know, all different kinds of things. And you may have a box like this full of little characters or little whatever. My recommendation, just like the vehicles, because you could have this and it gets dumped every day and then every day you fill it up and whatever, is, you know, like I said, I have mine stored like this because I don't have toddlers at my house, but I recommend you pull out 5. 5 is my magic number. So I've got a cat, a dog, a frog, a bird, and a reindeer. Okay, so here's 5. I'm going to put these guys on the side for a minute. Now, you may not be able to get away with just 5 if your child loves these things, but, you know, here's how I recommend you start with working with them, okay? So the first thing we're going to look at on all these animals is their feet, all right? So I'm going to, you know, let your child pick the first one. Here's reindeer. Look at reindeer's feet. Reindeer has 4 feet. Look, feet. Reindeer, feet. And then put reindeer down. And then we're going to do frog. Look, frog, feet. Frog, feet. Now, if your child is very at the beginning of just identifying in body parts, that's where it ends. Now, if your child is farther along in language, you can say, you know, like this one has 4 feet. 4 feet. Maybe your child likes counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 feet. So the activity is, first, it's just reindeer feet. Then it gets more complex. Reindeer, count them, feet. Reindeer, 4 feet. Frog, 4 feet. Bird, 2 feet. Dog, 4 feet. So you can sort them, you can, you know, do all of that. And if you have, like, if you choose even more wisely, here's my, I've got a lobster. Lobster has how many feet? Count, you know, so there is a whole nother activity that you've done with these things. And then once you're done looking at their feet, then you look at their tail, and then you look at their nose, and then you look at their mouth. And then as you get bigger, as you know, little attributes about it and what it can do and all of that stuff. So that's how you're going to use these little guys. All right. Now I'm going to grab, a few of them out so that I can play with my barn again. I've got it. And it doesn't matter to me what animals go in a barn because, like I said, I use everything for everything. So when you have, you know, after you talk about the animals enough and they all, you know about them and all the things they do, then they can interact with each other, you know, like, you know, and have conversation with each other. Hi, bird. Hi, reindeer. I like you. I like you too. Let's jump. Jump, 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 jump. That kind of interaction. Now, your kids, if they like to play with their little characters, they may want to say the kinds of things that their characters on TV say, but it's better if you script these fun things for your kids while you play with them. So you are the first one. You be the reindeer and let them be the bird, and you talk to them. I mean, you can do this with Barbies, you can do it with whatever, but when you have animals, you can make them interact with each other and do that kind of stuff too. Or you can be, you know, make them be like they are real animals. See, because when we have toys, we have the luxury, just like the teddy bear, that you can make them both Tea Party and polar bear, grizzly, you know, killing fish. So it's the same with these little guys, and they can interact with each other. And it's the same with these kind of guys too. At the next level, you work on the social language. But you also can make them interact with the barn. So there's all kinds of things. Obviously, they're on top. Reindeer on. Turtle on top. You know? Think about the books, like the Dr. Seuss books that they're like, you know, over and over again. Turtle on top. Bird on top. Reindeer on top. You know, that's how it's going to go. These repeated over and over kinds of interactions with the toys, and that's how you're going to move along the spectrum to get them, you know, talking more and more. Okay, so then, yep, that's it. So the other thing about animals that is, you know, really exciting for you to be able to, a lot of kids, like I said, they engage with animals sometimes before they engage with people, and they may make noises, you know, that animals will make before they'll make words, because that's a lot more fun. So whatever animals you're around, really, really try to, you know, give up all of your pride or whatever, I don't know, and just go ahead and dig in and start making animal noises and playing with animals and working with animals and doing all that. So, all right, I hope that this video was helpful for you and you were able to get some tips to be able to start language facilitation with your little one, and you dig in and start doing. And if you do, I'd be happy to have you come back and comment on this video and let me know, you know, the kind of improvement that you've been able to see with your kiddo. So I'll see you next week for my next language facilitation tip of the week video. And until then, I hope that you are digging in, doing your language facilitation, and realize that parents are the best language facilitators. And if you need any information about my Waves of Communication program and how to help your child, if you ever get stuck with any of these video tip ideas, or it's just not working for you, or you're starting to see some improvement, but you really want to dig in and see the kind of gains that the families in my program are doing, I can set you up with a custom plan and teach you exactly how to use all of these tips exactly in your household to solve your own communication problems. And that's what I do for the families in my program. So if you want information about how to get that kind of success for you and your family, go ahead and reach out to me at wavesofcommunication.com. And I'll talk to you all very soon.